Hi, I'm Praveen Jadhav. Welcome to Learn Online. Characteristics of calendars. Now, what are characteristics of calendars? Now, if I ask you simply, how many days does a normal year have? A normal year has 365 days. One leap year has how many days? A leap year has 366 days. Yes. Now, the next thing that we are going to learn here is concept of leap year. Yes. Now, if it is not a century leap year, what do I mean by when I say not a century year? Any year like normal year, even 2019, 2019, 1942, 56 AD, 1364. Yes, these are not a century years. These are not a century years. Now, if I ask you, and other column has century years. What are these? Century years are my 2000, all ending with the zeros are century years. Yes, 100 is also century year for that matter. 1900 is a century year. 1600 is a century year. 200 is a century year. Yes, we can go on like this. Now, how do we find out that if a given year is leap year or not? For any non-century year, that is, if a year is not a century year, to be a leap year, it must be divisible by 4. It must be divisible by 4. Now, is 2019 divisible by 4? How do I check divisibility of 4? Yes, you have learned it in the number system classes, divisibility rules, that if the last 2 digits are divisible, then the entire number will be divisible. Is 2019 divisible by 4? No. So, 2019 is not a leap year. 1942, is it divisible by 4? No, it is not divisible by 4. It is not a leap year. 56, year 56, is it divisible by 4? Yes, it is divisible by 4. So, this will be a leap year. If I add again here, like if I make it 1856, is it divisible by 4? Yes, it is divisible by 4. And will it be a leap year? Yes, it will be a leap year. 1364, is 64 divisible by 4? Yes. So, 64 is divisible by 4. So, 1364 will also be a leap year. For every non-century year, or if the year is not a century year, how do we check if it is a leap year or not? We will check it by dividing it by 4. Now, when it comes to century year, the given year is said to be a leap year if it is divisible by 400. If it is divisible by 400. Now check 2000. Is it divisible by 400? Yes. So this will be a leap year. 100. Is it divisible by 400? No. So it is not a leap year. 1900? No. 1600? Yes. So 1600 is a leap year. 200. Is it divisible by 400? No. So for every century year to be a leap year, it must be divisible by 400. So this is about concept of leap year. Now, we will be talking about how many leap years. Now we have understood the concept of leap year. Now we will be calculating how many leap years. Now if I say I have 60 years. In 60 years, how many leap years will I have? Yes, starting from 1, if I start going 1, 4, 8, 12, if I go that way, how many will I have? Yes, 60 divided by 4, that gives me how much? 15. 15 leap years I'll have. How did I arrive at this? Check. Now, 4 here is my divisor, 60 is dividend, and if I divide it, how many times will it go? 15 times will give me 60. My quotient is nothing but my leap years. My coefficient is nothing but my leap years. If I ask you, I asked you about 60 years. Now if I move a little ahead and I ask you, how many leap years in 86 years? In 86 years, how many leap years will be there? Quickly, I can calculate it as 21. 21 leap years. Yes, how did I arrive at it? 4 2 times, I'll reach to 8. Another 6 I have here 1 time. 21 leap years. Now, if I move ahead and I say between 1846 and 1946, how many leap years are there? If I ask you how many leap years are there, what will you do? 1846 to 1946. Yes, there are 100 years. In 100 years, how many leap years will be there? 25. 25 leap years, which is exactly wrong. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong? Now, from 1846 to 1946, yes, I have 100 years. But for every leap year, for every century year to be a leap year, what is the condition? The prerequisite is that it must be divisible by 400. So, what is the century year that is appearing between 1846 and 1946? 1900. Now, is 1900 a leap year? For an end, 1900 is a century year. For a century year to be a leap year, what is the condition? It must be divisible by 400. Is it divisible by 400? No. So, outrightly I can take out of my total of 100 years, 1 year is not a leap year. That is my 1900 is not a leap year. So, out of 100 years, 1 is already not a leap year because it is not a century, because it is a century year and not divisible by 400. So, how many leap years will I have? I will have 24 leap years. How did I arrive at this if you ask me? I would say I have total of 100 years and then I have to, for every normal year to be a century leap year, I need 25. But how many leap years? 25 gives me 100, 0. But I have a century year here which is not divisible by 400. So, I have to subtract that 1 year from 25 to arrive at 24 leap years like I have written here. Concept of odd days. Now, before moving to the concept of odd days, I have few simple questions for you. Now, how many days are there in a week? Everyone knows it, 7 days in a week. Which is the first day of the week? First day of the week is a Monday. Just because in your calendar the week starts with a Sunday, it is not the first day of your week. First day of your week is Monday. Now, if I ask you, just to clarify this, now if I ask you to come to the class on the first day of the week, when will you come to the class? You will come on the Monday. Yes, you will come on Monday. Now, if I ask you to take a leave on the weekend, when will you take it? Saturday. Yes, you will take a leave on Saturday. So, what are my weekdays? From Monday to Friday are my weekdays and Saturday and Sunday is my weekends. Yes. Now, so first day of a week, Saturday is my weekend. So, my first day of my week is Monday. So, what will be the second day? Second day is Tuesday. Third is Wednesday. Thursday. Friday. Saturday and Sunday. So, this will be my 4th, 5th, 6th and not 7th, it is 0. Yes, we will be using it throughout our sessions on calendar. So, please make a note of this and pay attention that Sunday is 0. Yes, and Monday is 1. Now, what is odd days? odd days are nothing but the number of days left over. Number of days left over after forming a week. The number of days left over after forming a week are nothing but my odd days. Now, for example, if I have 16 days, if I have say 16 days, how many weeks can you form out of these 16 days? Yes, you can form 2 weeks. 7 and 7, you can form 2 weeks. So, how many odd days will be remaining? How many odd days will be remaining? Odd days remaining with you will be 2. You will have 2 odd days with you. Now, if I say if I have 21 days, how many odd days will you have? You can form 3 weeks with 3 weeks from 21 days. So, you will have 0 odd days. Yes. Now, if I ask you, if I have 32 days, let me say 31 days. 31 days. How many odd days will you have? Yes, 28. 7 4s are 28. So, you can form how many? 4 weeks and you will be remaining with 3 odd days. Now, if I have 30 days, you will have how many? 2 odd days. If I have 29 days, how many odd days will you have? You will have 1 odd day. And if you have 28 days, how many odd days will you have? You will have 0 odd days. How am I calculating my odd days? You take up any number. I will take here 16 that we have already solved it here. And divide it with 7. My divisor here is 7. Dividend is 16. And coefficient is 2 times I will reach to 14. I'll be left with a remainder of 2. My remainder here is 2. So, whatever remainder is left out, this is nothing but my odd days. This is nothing but my odd days. These 4 days that I've written here will play a vital role while we are going around with the months, because they are mostly the number of days in a month. 28, 29, 30 and 31. 29 is only happens when we have a leap year. Yes. So, I'll be putting it under strict surveillance and you will have to memorize them to be able to solve questions on calendars at a faster rate. After we have developed an understanding about concept of odd days, I have a simple question for you. A normal year, that is 365 days, has how many odd days? Yes, you are right. It has 1 odd day. How did you calculate this? For those of you who could not calculate it, it's no rocket science. Just have a look at it. 365 divided by 7. 365 divided by 7. 7 5s is 35 and 15 I'll be remaining with. 7 2s is 14. So, I'll have 1 odd day. If a leap year, 366 days, how many odd days will I have? I'll have 2 odd days. 2 odd days. Now, why did I do this? How did I do this? Now, we have developed an understanding that odd days can never be greater than 7. What will happen if it is greater than 7? Let's say I have 8 odd days. If I have 8 odd days, out of these 8 odd days, I can form 1 week of 7 days. 7 plus 1 will be remaining. So, how many odd days will I have? I'll have formed a week of 1. 1 week I'll be forming here and only 1 odd day will be remaining with me. Yes? Odd day will be remaining with me. If I have 9, we have already solved it. 9, if I have 9 odd days, how many odd days will I have in total with me? I'll have only 2 odd days because I would have formed a week of 7 days. Yes? Now, starting with the first 100 years. First 100 years. 180 to 100 AD. From 180 to 100 AD. Now you guys will have to Google it for me what AD means and then post it in the comments. Now from 180 to 100 AD, how many years do I have? I have 100 years. Yes, in these 100 years, how many leap years do I have? Start thinking, how many leap years do I have? How do I calculate number of leap years? Leap year should be a multiple of 4. Multiple of 4, 100. How many times can I go? 25 times. But I have a century year here. Century year is 100. For a century year to be a leap year, what is the prerequisite? That it must be divisible by 400. Is 100 divisible by 400? No. So how many leap years will I have? I'll have only 24 leap years. Yes. So out of the total of 100 years, if 24 years are leap years, how many normal years will I have? I'll have 76 normal years. And I've just now calculated that every leap year I have how many odd days? 2 odd days. Every leap year I have 2 odd days. So totally together, how many odd days will I have? 24 into 2. I'll have 48 odd days. Every normal year, how many odd days do I have? I have 1 odd day. So totally together, how many odd days will I have here? 76 odd days. Now I know that the number of odd days can never be greater than 7. But here I have how many? 76 and 48. 76 plus 48 gives me how much? 124 odd days. Yes, 124 odd days. Can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So if I divide this 124 with 7, how much will I be getting? I will be getting 5 odd days. Yes, these were my years from 180 to 100 AD. Now if I move ahead, I start from 101 AD to 200 AD. Now, before moving any further, I have a question for you. Now, if 31st of December 2019 was a Thursday. 31st of December 2019 was a Thursday. What will be 1st of January 2020? What day will it be? It will be Friday, because 31st of December 2019 was a Thursday. The calendar will continue to be on 1st of January 2020. It will be what day? Friday. Just because we were done with the year, did we start from Monday again? No. We carried whatever was there from the previous year to the next year. Similarly, in the first 100 years, how many odd days did I have? I had 5 odd days. So, I'll first initially carry these 5 odd days with me. Next thing, from 101 AD to 101 AD to 200 AD. How many years do I have? I have again 100 years. And in these 100 years, how many leap years do I have? 24. How many normal years do I have? 76. So totally and every leap year, how many odd days do I have? 2. So that gives me 48 odd days here. 48 odd days here. And here I'll get 76 odd days. So totally together I'll have again the same number, that is 124 odd days. Yes, 124 odd days from these 100 years, that is 101 AD to 200 AD. And from the previous century, how many odd days do I have? I have 5 odd days. 124 plus 5, that gives me 100 plus 5 odd days from the previous year. That gives me how much? 125 odd days. Now, can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So what do I have to do? Yes, I have to divide it with 7. Now if I divide it with 7, how much will I get? 7 1 times, I'll go 7 1 times 7. So I'll be remaining with 3 and 2, 5, 54. I'll be remaining with how many? 3 odd days. I'll be remaining with 3 odd days. Now these 3 odd days, how did I get? Odd days is nothing but the remainder. Yes, it is remainder. 125 is being divided by 7 and you guys get me the answer here. Yes. Whatever the remainder will be, that will be my odd days. Moving to the next 100 years. So next 100 years we won't be solving this thing. So from 201 AD to 300 AD. How many odd days will I have? I'll have how many odd days? Yes, I'll have another 5 odd days. 5 odd days. But from the previous year, I have carried how many odd days? Previous century, I have carried how many odd days? 3 odd days. So totally together, how many odd days do I have? I have 8 odd days. Can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So how many odd days do I have in total? I have only 1 odd day. Yes. Now, moving to the next year, next century, that is 301 AD to 400 AD. We will be solving this because we have our magic century year, which is a divisible of 400. Means what? Means what? It will also be a leap year. So how many years do I have from 301 to 400? I have 100 years here. And how many leap years do I have here? I'll have 25 leap years. Why? Because my century year 400 is divisible by 400, so it will also be a leap year. So I'll have 25 leap years and I'll have 75 normal years. So every leap year I'll have how many odd days? I'll have 2 odd days. So that gives me how much? 50 odd days. And here I have 75 odd days. So totally together, how many odd days do I have? 75 plus 50, I have how many? 125 odd days. Can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So how many odd days will I be left out with? What about the remainder? That will be the number of odd days. So I'll have 6 odd days here. 6 odd days. From the previous century, I had carried how many odd days? 1 odd day. If I add it here, 6 plus 1, that gives me 7 odd days. So 7 odd days, meaning using these 7 odd days, I can form a week. So how many odd days do I have in total? I have 0 odd days. I have how many? 0 odd days. Now, we'll be listing them out in a fashion. It says something like this. The first 100 years, how many odd days did I have? We had 5 odd days. Next, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, 500 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth. Yes, first 100 years, how many odd days did we have? 5. Next 200, next year, 3. 300 years, 1. 400 years, 0 odd days. Again, 500 years, how many will I have? Yes, it is 5, 3, 1 and 0. So if you observe here, we have a cyclicity of 4. We have a cyclicity of 4, that is 5310, 5310 repeats every 4 years. And every century leap year, how many odd days do we have? Every century leap year we have 0 odd days. So after all the understanding that we have developed over the concept, let's take up our first question, that is 26th of January 1950. So the question will be something like this. 26th of January 1950 was what day? So you would say it is a popular day. Yes, it is a Republic Day. But what is it? How do we calculate? What day exactly is it? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, Sunday? Yes? Let's go about it. My first question to you is, how many years have elapsed? Meaning, if I start from year 1, this is 1950 AD for sure. Yes? From 1 AD to 1950, how many years have completed? Yes, 1949 years have completed. And 1950 year, 26 January is running year. Running year, yes. 1950, 26 January is in which year? It is in the year 1950. So it is the running year. And how many years have already completed? 1949 years have already completed. So what will I do here is, I will write 1945 as 1600 plus 300 plus 49. Is it feasible? 1600 plus 300 plus 49. 1600 and 300 is 1900, and again 49 gives me 1949. So every century leap year, how many odd days do we have? We have 0 odd days. So every 300 years, how many odd days do we have? For 100 years, 5310. So I'll have how many odd days? 1 odd day. 49 years. Here is our tussle. 49 years. How many leap years do I have here? How many leap years do I have here? I'll have 12 leap years. How many normal years will I have here? Out of 49 years, if 12 are leap years, so how many normal years will I have here? I'll have 37 normal years. Yes. So every leap year, how many odd days do I have? If you remember, I have 2 odd days. So totally together, how many odd days do I have here from here? So I'll have 24 odd days. And for every normal year, how many odd days do I have? I have 1 odd day. So I'll have 37 odd days from here. 37 and 24. That gives me how much? 57 and 4 gives me 61. 61 odd days. Can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So how many times will it go? I'll have to divide it with 7. So it will go with 7 8s are 56, 4 and 1, 5 odd days I'll have here. I'll have 5 odd days. From the past 300 years, I have 1 odd day. So I'll add it here, 1 odd day. So totally together, how many odd days do I have here? I have 6 odd days. Yes. This I am done till what year? I am done till the year 1949. So 1950 is the running year. This is the running year, that is 1950. So how much time has elapsed in it? It is January 26th. So 26 days have elapsed. 26 days have elapsed. Can the number, so these are my odd days directly. 26 odd days I have here. Yes. Now, can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So how many odd days will I have? I'll have 5 odd days. How did I get it? Dividing it by 7. Now, from previous 1949 years, I have 6 odd days. And from these January 26, I have 26 days, I have 5 odd days. So totally together, I have how many? 6 and 5 odd days. Together, I have 11 odd days. So can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So 11 odd days divided by 7, that gives me how much? 4 odd days. If I have 4 odd days, which day of the week will it be? Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2, Wednesday is 3, Thursday is 4. So 26th of January 1950 was a Thursday. Now if I take something like this, 26th of March 1950 was what day? Since here it was January 26th, months did not come into play. But here it is 26th of March, so months will also come into play. So he is asking it was what day. The question will be, he will be asking you, it will be what day. So how do we go about it? Till 1949 years, I have calculated, already the procedure will remain the same. I will have how many odd days? I will have 6 odd days. The question arises where? In Jan I have 31 days. Yes. In February I have 21 days because 1950 is not a leap year. I will have 28 days. And again in March I will have how many days? He is asking me for 26th of March, so I will stop at 26. Now, can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. If I have 31 odd days, how many odd days will I have? I will have how many? 3 odd days. 28 days, I will have 0 odd days. 26, I will have 5 odd days. So, totally together I will have how many odd days? 8 odd days. Yes, 8 odd days. These 8 odd days came from where? January, February and March of the running year, that is 1950. Of the running year 1950, these 8 odd days came. Of the 1949 years that I've already calculated, the same procedure, 1949 years that I've already calculated, how many odd days did I have? I had 6 odd days from the 1949 years and 8 odd days from here. So totally together I'll have how many odd days? 8 and 6, 14 odd days. Can the number of odd days be greater than 7? No. So I'll have how many odd days here? 0 odd days. If I have 0 odd days, which day of the week will it be? Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2. If I go that way, I told you to remember it. If I have 0 odd days, it will be Sunday. So this is the procedure you have to follow when you are asked to find a day and date and year is given to you. So we are done with the type 1 type of questions in where we will be given a date and a year and we will be asked to find out a day. So in type 2 questions and type 3 questions, the questions will be something like this. Date, month and year and day will be given to you. The question will be something like this. If 5th of August 2020 is a Wednesday, what is 5th of August 2086? What day will be 5th of August 2086? Or it can also be asked something like this. 14th of October 2019 is what day if 14th of October 2026 was a Monday? He'll give you a date and ask you to calculate the day in the future, or he will give you a date in the future and ask you to calculate a day which was it in the past. So these type of questions we will be taking it up in our advanced courses, and we'll also like to see if you can answer these questions and drop their answers in the comments.